I've been timed out in channels myself. I got timed out in Man vs. Games channel once. That was a misunderstanding, though. So. I asked a non-spoiler question and someone thought it was a spoiler. And then I came back in and said, that wasn't a spoiler. Why'd I get timed out? And then I got timed out again. I was like, okay. I get the idea of not asking questions, but... What? Ah, okay. Alright, alright. Oh. I don't even see him in the viewer list right now, so... I don't know. Like I said, I'm not worried about it too much. He'll be back in the channel. He's welcome in the channel. Everyone's welcome in the channel. I don't want to be telling people not to be in the channel. I like my viewers, all of them, even the ones that might make trouble. Go ahead and get rid of him. There we go. Kill him. Oop. No, I don't have Nightbot. No Nightbot. I don't really like Nightbot. It's one of the things. I mean, granted, Nightbot may be better, but when I used to cast, the bots were awful and were way more problems than they were worth. I think MooBot was the main one people were using, and it was like built default into the channel, and I hated it. It was such a pain in the ass when it would start doing stuff, so... that was on Justin TV. And like I said, we don't need to worry about this. Everything's fine. Everything's fine. Everything's fine. How are you? Justin TV is now what would be, it's like the social side. Rather than gaming, it's for like social stuff. Like if you just wanted to live stream yourself. But Justin TV is actually what Twitch was before. It was basically just a website called justin.tv. It was this guy that started this social project where he was gonna like live stream himself for like a year or something like that, like everything he did, and it kind of fell through. It just didn't work out right, so he opened it up for everyone else to be able to stream whatever they wanted. So yeah, I mean that's what it was. Is when it got opened up for everyone else, the biggest thing that a lot of people started doing with it was gaming, live streaming gaming. Well, obviously the name Justin.tv is not exactly indicative of video game stuff, so they developed their own sort of IP by getting the brand Twitch. So. And so they kind of switched all the gamers over to the Twitch branding. And that's why sometimes if you click on some people's names, it goes to their Twitch account. Or their Justin TV account rather than their Twitch account. Hello, Alex Fall. How's it going? Yeah, I'm gonna die. I'm gonna die. Yeah, sort of. I mean, it's the exact same people, infrastructure, everything else. Obviously, if you go on Justin.tv, you'll see that it's, you know, it's all sort of like live streaming of just people. More like a Ustream, I guess, would be the closest relevant comparison. That's basically all it is, yeah. For a long time, it was a big deal because there were a lot of people that would stream movies or TV shows or wrestling or things like that on it. Now they try to crack down a lot more on the illegal content. And in its scope, it is much smaller than Twitch at this point, because... Ah, jeez. I'm gonna die. I'm gonna die again. Got all the way to the cathedral. Yeah, that's the other thing, yeah. You have to stream games on Twitch. Although there are, I believe, there are some sort of exceptions to that. Some exceptions that are like, that people are fine with. Like, as far as I know, the guy that does the webcomic, questionable content, I believe he draws his comic on Twitch. Which I don't think the Twitch guys mind, because obviously a lot of people watch him draw it on there, you know, a few hundred or whatever. So, favorite character in Binding of Isaac? Well, I'll say this: probably my favorite is Isaac because he has the D6, and I'm trying to do stupid achievements with other characters. For beating Cathedral, and all I can think is, I really wish I had the D6. Basically, all I can think is, please give me the D6. No, it's not Cain. This is Cain. He's not my favorite. Yeah, Playroom was an interesting little thing also that happened because it's this non-game game that came with the PlayStation 4, and like right off the bat, like when the PS4 came out, like some of the most popular channels for like a short period of time were the Playroom channels, and all people were doing were like hosting talk shows or whatever. Din Din is like a meal. It's like food. It's dinner. It's Din Din. It's the colloquial term for having dinner. Or a dinner. That sucks. Balls of Steel. And then, of course, there was some incidents where people were casting nudity or porn or things like that using Playroom, which obviously Twitch did not want to have on there. So they kind of like really locked down Playroom stuff. Like much harder, I think. It's either harder to do Playroom stuff or like you can't archive it, or I don't know. I know it was a big deal right when the PS4 launched. And while we're at it, I'm gonna get on my little soapbox about these new consoles. I don't like the idea that the new consoles can stream so easily, because it's like, now you've got too many people. Like, look, I got 5 people on the channel right now. It's not like I have a lot of people watching me. Someone could easily make the case, how do I justify the existence of my channel when there's 5 people in it? But I invested in my equipment. I purchased my equipment. I put everything together. I've got everything that's needed to do it, and I spent the time to build it. And I did it twice. Also, I did it when it was in its infancy on Justin TV, where it was a much more difficult process, and I've done it now. If you just give someone a console that does it right off the bat, there's gonna be way too many people, you know. I just think there's way too many people sometimes that cast. And again, I'm sure there are people that would be like, well, you can't even justify your own existence, but I think I can. Whoops, I didn't mean to cut my head off. I think I can justify my own existence on here. Let's go ahead and take a look. I'm not taking the cat. There are definitely people that want to post illegal material. Like, even when it was on Justin TV, and I'm sure even still now, there are occasionally people that, when they're doing their own live streaming stuff, they'll start casting things that are inappropriate, and it happens, and then they get banned. Which obviously is a company that wants to avoid that as much as possible, because they got a lot of bad press when that Playroom thing started. It was like a bunch of like media outlets were saying all these people are on there, you know, doing porn and stuff, and so Twitch had to react. Ah, crap. Twitch had to react pretty quickly and kind of really changed, I guess, the way Playroom works or is allowed to be cast. Flippin' pageant boy. Yeah. I mean, I think, if I'm not mistaken, like, the new consoles, maybe also you can't archive your streams at all, or you can't make, highlights, something like that. There's some limitations on it, because, you know, now, rather than everyone have to put their own stuff together, it's a lot easier to create, or to get onto Twitch. And I think you also can't build an account all the way to a subscriber level. no matter how popular you get, I think you have to actually cast on hardware to do that, but... Forgive me for being a little elitist on that, but, you know, like I said, having done it twice, and knowing what it takes to put all the equipment together, I'm not a big fan of just, like, you know, being able to do it easily, because if you make it too easy, then you get people that aren't serious about casting, that are just casting low-res, low-quality, you know, because it is really about your upload. You need to have, you need to know what your upload is. You need to know what kind of equipment you need. You need to, you know, it's all stuff you need to pay attention to if at all possible. And I think there's some people that would just, like, be trying to throw content on immediately without thinking about those things. And that just looks bad, you know. Damn it. The deaths I've taken today, they've been a little disheartening, so... Well, I mean in the sense of, if someone doesn't know what they can stream at, and they just, you know, like, they don't have the upload necessary. That's mainly what I'm saying, is that the ability to just throw it up there without really knowing what your upload speed is and how good, you know, how good you can really produce content. Having good enough audio equipment, you know, like, I mean, my audio equipment's not great. It's actually not bad. It's just it's not set up as well as it could be. So all that stuff, you know. I mean, I guess it is good that they'll be able to stream in 720. Ah, goddamn. Yeah, this has not been a very good run. Thank you. Very helpful there, buddy. Bombs everywhere. I didn't even know they couldn't broadcast at 720 already. A little surprised about that. I guess they're all restrictions that were put in place to try to, you know, not overload the servers day one. Although, from what I understand, it was pretty rough on Twitch the day that the PS4 went live. I need hearts. Not going to give me hearts, probably. Give me some hearts. Wow, thank you. I gotta pick that up. Can't lose that. Too powerful. Half art. Half fart. Joker. Let's go ahead and pop that. Well, scapular. That's useful. D20 would be nice. D6 would be nice. Damn it. Damn it, damn it, damn it, damn it. That's a fair point. It's absolutely a fair point. That if someone can get into it that way, I kind of agree on the idea. I mean, I guess at the very least that you don't get necessarily access to everything that everyone else does, because you're using very some limited resource. Well, I don't know a good way to say it, but you know, if you're passionate about streaming, you will eventually probably have to go beyond PlayStation 4 and Xbox. And honestly, when it all comes down to it, it's not like, I mean, I can't think of any Xbox One or PS4 streamers that are of any real significance on Twitch. I think most people, if they stream that stuff, they stream it through their, and they're a big caster, they stream it through their real setup, their computer, their whatever equipment actually gives them a full stream. God, bombs are key, so, you know, it's probably not made any difference in the end, on the number of my quote doom and gloom on it has not actually made any real significant difference, you know what I mean? Okay, we're gonna use this to get some hearts. So I'm probably still just a little too alarmist on it, you know? But there are some times, I mean, the Bible doesn't do Only thing the Bible is doing for me right now, the Bible will instant kill mom's foot and mom's heart. In this, if you use it in a normal room, what it does is allow you to fly. So the only thing it's been doing for me in here is I popped it so that I could fly and touch that stuff. So, yeah. Hello, Ashley Smith, 1697. Yeah, and it'll only be one room. It only lets me do it for one room, so. You know, there's a component to a lot of things in this world where if you make things for free, people don't use them, but if you make them a cursory cost to doing the business or whatever, then people are more likely to use them. Like, for example, and again, I'm not making the case where people aren't actually buying these consoles, but like those programs where they give nets in Africa to people to stop malaria or mosquito biting and stuff like that. Well, if they give it out, they find that people are less likely to use them than if they charge a small amount for the net. If you charge someone for the net, then they actually, you know, will use it, will work with it, will there's some psychological aspect to it. And in a way, I kind of think that sometimes if you just include the feature in the console, then people aren't going to take it as serious as maybe it should be taken. But, you know, if you're passionate about gaming and streaming, then it is a great entry for a lot of people. So, you know, who am I to quibble if that's how someone gets their, you know, gets into streaming the first time. It's not like I didn't have help in, you know, figuring out how to stream to begin with myself. You know, there was a lot of people that had written guides and stuff that helped me back when it was essentially the Wild West of streaming, where you had to use Flash Media and Coder and all these, you know, like multitude of programs to get on. And now it's so much easier. It's just OBS, you know, OBS or XSplit, and it's not like I'm not getting help, is what I'm saying. No, I mean, it's not just that I spent a lot of money. That's really not even an aspect to it. It's just, I just feel like the inclusion of it means that you'll have a lot of quantity, but the quality may drop. That's sort of the concern. Like, I'm not really that concerned about even the cost on it. It's just a quantity versus quality thing, I think, a lot of times. Okay, we're... And at this point, the majority of my equipment has been paid for years previously, so I've gotten all my money out of my gear by this time. Well, that's the pony horn. Fortunately, I really needed to have saved a thing, but oh well. Of course. Oh, I shouldn't even pick that up yet.